This is a day that the Lord has made. Welcome everyone. My name is Vanessa. Welcome to my channel. As you can tell from the title of my video, I'm going to be talking about a children's Bible. It was in my garage, so I went in there. I knew exactly where it is. It's because I'm very organized for the most part. And now I'm here and I'm ready to talk about my children's stories of the Bible from the Old and New Testament. And this is what it looks like. I was thinking, I actually had a conversation with my boyfriend yesterday. I was telling him how I really enjoy hearing stories, how someone at the darkest place in their life, when all of a sudden Jesus found them, I love to hear their testimony. For me, when I found Jesus and started to have a relationship with God, I was about 10 years old. I was a bookworm. I loved to read books because I was trying to think, how did this come to be? I used to read and read and read and read. I think that is why, possibly why this gift was given to me. It was Christmas 1988. Had just turned 9 years old at that time. My cousin and his wife gave this to me. And it was one of the best gifts because without this book, I don't know if I'd have the relationship that I do have with God right now. I don't know that I would have the love that I have of following Jesus Christ as I do right now. I owe it to my cousins who gave me this book. It is 254 pages. Of course, it has pretty large illustrations and really large print. It is edited by Barbara Taylor Bradford, illustrated by Laszlo Matuli. It has a copyright of 1968. I love it so much. I have taken good care of it all these years. The table of contents. The Old Testament has Adam and Eve. It has Noah, Abraham, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Joshua, Gideon, Ruth, Samuel, Saul, David, Solomon, Elijah, Elisha, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum. Is this exactly like the Old Testament? Let me see if I have an index or something in my book. I should have done this before. Let's just do it together and figure it out. Genesis, it has Ruth, Joshua, Samuel, so it is in order of a real Bible, but for instance, it instead of Kings, it actually has David as the title of that particular chapter. And then the New Testament sounds nothing like the actual Bible, but it's like the Nativity, the wise men come, the presentation at the temple, the boy Jesus and the teachers, the baptism, the temptation. It's written for a child to understand. I read it all and I fell in love with God and wanted to follow Jesus Christ. The reason this was a pivotal moment in my life at 9 years old is because prior to that, I was 5 when I lost a very close cousin. And then I was 6 when I lost my next very close cousin. The way my mother explained both of them to me was that God called them home, kind of a thing, just in a quick summary. And from what I can, really remember, I hated God. I hated him so much for taking them because they were young. They were 19 and 23. I grew up in a Catholic home where we were baptized at a few months after being born. We went to church on Saturday evenings every week. We went to catechism during the school year. I think we started in first grade and we went all the way till I was a senior. It's not like this was the first time I had ever heard about God or the first time I had ever heard about Jesus. It was the first time I guess I initiated that relationship, because I had no choice to go to church every Saturday. I had no choice to go to catechism. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful, because once I read all of it, I then read the real Bible, the Bible that we had in my home at the time. It became the absolute foundation for my life. There was a straight line. There was no other way. I only wanted to speak truth. I obviously was going to respect my parents because that's a commandment. I try to be kind. I remember getting done with my schoolwork, eager to help others in my class who were struggling as a very young kid. I remember trying to be friends with the kids who were an outcast, the kids who everyone made fun of and bullied. I was the person that would reach out to them and be kind to them. I think I'm getting a little emotional because we all need Jesus. We all need God. He created us to be good. He wants us to be good. He wants us to choose to be good. It saddens me how much hate is in this world and how much bad things are happening because people don't have a relationship with God, because people don't know Jesus. I'm not perfect. I say that every time because I was listening to a YouTube video. It happened to be a Christian channel. What the person said on there, I don't remember their name, is that Christians are held to a higher standard. So more is expected of a Christian because they know God. They know Jesus. They know what is right. I have to agree with that. And I take honor in that. I do know God. I do know right from wrong. I'm not perfect, but I'm doing my best to follow Jesus Christ. It all started here. It starts as a child. Yes, my parents did the best they could in showing me. You have to give your kids a lot of different tools, show them different examples, show them the way. And eventually it will click. We're not going to just grasp onto something new. Some of us do, some of us don't. My household, I remember in our dining room, we always had this huge, really nice display of the Last Supper, which I think was a gift to my parents when they got married. So that was a reminder of Jesus. And every time we ate food, we weren't the family that prayed before we ate, but we were the family that said, thank you, God, after we ate. I grew up in a Mexican-American household. We would say, gracias a Dios. And that was like, thank you, God. And anytime I told my mom I had a plan or I wanted to do something, she would always say, con el favor de Dios, which means with God's favor. You know, you'll be able to do that. I remember my big brother, every single night, he would sit with me and my little brother and we would pray our Father together. He taught us that prayer. The most important part of me is I'm Christian. I love God. I do my best to follow Jesus Christ. I'm doing my best to share that with everyone because your life will change so much. I'm sure most of you who are watching are already followers because you wouldn't come to my channel. And so I'm kind of probably just preaching to the choir. Is that how that saying goes? Life is just going to be so much better. I feel like I've had some struggles, but they're not that big. And I believe that for the most part, my life has been smooth and pretty easygoing because I've had this relationship since I was 10 years old with God and wanting to follow Jesus Christ. I've had such a beautiful life. I cannot complain whatsoever. Remember, today is going to be what you make of it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.